This is episode number 40 of Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse. In today's episode, we will be discussing Walt Disney World Resort and things to do on Easter.
Everything Disney in and out of the house. Two grown-ups and a mouse.
Hi there, I'm AJ.
I'm Andrew.
And you are listening to or watching Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse.
The podcast.
The videocast.
The something or other.
Thank you for finding us. Thank you for subscribing. I did not say that well. Let me try it again. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't done so already, please do so. You can find us on your favorite podcast system, which you might have done. Google Play, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, you name it, we should be there.
That's
you can find us on YouTube if you're watching. That would be where you're watching it. Or you could be watching it on our website.
That's right.
We try to make it easy.
That's right.
Two grown-ups and a mouse.
.com.
Well, if it's the website.com.
Well, if it's not the website, it's still Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse.
Exactly. So now that that's out of the way, today we are talking about Easter.
Mm-hmm.
Hippity hop.
Hip hop?
Hippity hop. We're going to hippity hop over to Walt Disney World.
On one of the busiest days of the year.
Yeah, maybe we won't, but
Right.
we'll see about that. Either way, you might want to know what goes on at Walt Disney World on Easter. You know, I was looking up what they offer and I came across a website where someone said, don't be at Disney World on Easter. That's the worst time you can go.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a quote from someone else, but
I don't think it's the worst, but it's going to be up there in the probably the top 5.
well,
Definitely top 10.
we live in South Florida, and the school systems in South Florida have already had their spring break
Right.
because Easter is a little bit later this year. You know, sometimes it's at the end of March or beginning of April, so
Right.
it's a little later. And instead of waiting until Easter to have spring break, they had their spring break in March.
Right.
So a lot of people from South Florida went to Walt Disney World in March, you know, instead of waiting until Easter weekend. So that might help. But in other parts of the country, they may have their spring break before or after Easter.
Right.
And even in South Florida, Passover starts on Good Friday. So it's Passover and Good Friday. So schools are closed on
That's right.
the 19th. So it's still a 3-day weekend for a lot of people in Florida.
Well, for Disney, it's a blackout date for the week before and the week after. So, and usually they're pretty good at that whole crowd thing. So, if they're blacking it out for everybody with the most, the higher end passes, then you can bet it's going to be busy.
Exactly. So, I mean, to
interrupt, the only other time that they black it out is the week between Christmas and New Year's. So,
well, you're talking about for the higher level passes because you can have the pass that's blacked out for the entire summer season.
Right. But, for during the normal year,
right. When it's a short blackout period, it's before and after the Christmas.
Right.
The week before Christmas and the week after Christmas into New Year's, and then the week before and after Easter. So It's definitely considered a very busy time. We're not saying that you should go or shouldn't go. We're just giving you the heads up if you do decide to go, what you can expect. But for anyone who's religious, or even if you're not religious, if you do like to attend services for Easter, the same holds true for Christmas. Walt Disney World knows that there are people that are going to want to go to their religious services, so they do offer services on property.
That's right.
I don't have any information on if they charge or anything, but in the Fantasia Ballroom of Disney's Contemporary Resort, they offer both Protestant and Catholic services on Easter,
right?
Which is really nice.
And they do the same on Christmas.
Right.
So.
The only thing is you will not be able to park at the Contemporary unless you are staying there. You will not be able to park at any of the monorail resorts because they know people, it's going to be busy. So you will need to park in the Transportation and Ticket Center and take the monorail over to the Contemporary. Or you can take the monorail to Magic Kingdom and walk to the contemporary, whatever's easiest for you. So it's still pretty easy to get to, but just again, giving you a heads up about that.
That's right.
In Magic Kingdom, Mr. and Mrs. Easter Bunny should be there.
Yep.
And before the normal, what time's the 3:00 parade? When I asked that, I was joking.
Sure you were.
I was joking. And you all thought I was serious. What time is the 3:00 parade? Think about it. So anyway, before the typical afternoon parade, there should be like a pre-parade with Mr. and Mrs. Bunny.
Right.
And you can meet, they do have a meet and greet for Easter.
Mm-hmm.
In what I was reading, I feel like Epcot probably has the most Easter activities.
Right.
Of course, Flower and Garden runs through June 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
And, so it's very spring and flowery and Eastery. Eastery?
Sure. We make up words here.
Yeah, why not? It's our podcast. We can do what we want.
There you go.
The extravaganza scavenger hunt is something you can pay for. That's where you purchase the map for $6.99 and you go around and you put the little stickers on the map showing where the Easter eggs are hidden. Right. And then you get a little gift at the end. Mm-hmm. We've done things like that before. Of course, if you don't have time to go around putting all the stickers on, you can just have them stamp it. Right. It's not obligatory for you to complete it, but you can participate in that. But they do have Easter egg hunts, basket toss, and egg relays. Mm-hmm. They're all free. The Easter egg hunt is for ages 3 to 9. The Easter egg relay is ages 8 to 12. And there's a separate garden for children, a smaller Easter egg hunt, and a separate garden for children under 3.
Right.
The Easter egg hunts are every 10 minutes from 11 until 3:30 p.m. on Easter. The relay races are every 40 minutes after the hour. So 11:40, 12:40, 1:42, 43:40. Mm-hmm. And they also have an Easter basket toss, which is continuous in the United Kingdom gardens. And for that one, you can check in at the Easter basket podium in the United Kingdom up to 30 minutes before each hunt and relay. And of course, space is limited. Right. Now, I have a feeling, though we don't have kids, so we've never tried to register children for any of these events. You know how at Hollywood Studios, they have the Jedi training, mm-hmm. Right? And you have to get there early to register. It's like you go and you register, but your kid isn't going to go until right. Most likely later in the day because space is limited. I'm sure there's more availability than the Jedi classes, probably. But still, I'm guessing that the earlier you can get to Epcot to register your child, the better. Yep. If that's something that you are interested in doing. So in last week's episode, we talked about things that are free. Right. And Disney. And one of them is the Disney PhotoPass Studio mm-hmm. in Disney Springs. Well, for Easter, they're going to have Easter props. Right. And we keep on saying that this is things to do on Easter, but some of these things don't have to be on the day. Some of them right. probably will have to be on the day. You'll probably want to check the Walt Disney World website. Right. If there's something that we're talking about that you're interested in participating in, mm-hmm. I would highly recommend checking the website and getting the details or calling Disney to verify any of these details because we, of course, don't want to give misinformation. Right. Of course. But I have a feeling that the Easter props, they're probably available now. It's a week before Easter. I could be mistaken, but
give or take. I mean, definitely, probably almost for sure over the whole Easter weekend.
Right. Yeah. I would think so, but like I said, I don't want to misspeak. So us, right. Especially me, always giving disclaimers. You go. Better safe than sorry. I don't want someone to say, "Oh, but we heard." Yeah, right. What if we're wrong? And something that we've done before, and it's available now at the Grand Floridian. They have the decorated chocolate Easter eggs, mm-hmm. and by we've done, I mean we've gone and looked at it, just like right. over the Christmas holidays, they have the gingerbread house. Well, over Easter, they have the Easter eggs. Right.
And they have a separate snack area, or you can purchase Easter decorated things separate from their normal.
And that's new this year, isn't it? Or we haven't noticed it before.
Know. Yeah. We typically don't go there over the over the holiday because it's busy.
Right.
So
No, if we do end up going up there, we probably won't. We might not even go into a park, or if we go into a park, it won't be for very long.
Right.
Because it's going to be busy.
Yep.
So we will, if we do go up there, we'll probably spend more time at Disney Springs and in the resorts looking at things like these decorated Easter eggs.
That's right.
The Easter eggs are 9 to 12 pounds hollow, and they're about 16 to 20 inches tall. Mm-hmm. So they're pretty neat.
Yep.
BOMA also has an Easter egg display.
Right.
And I believe there's an Easter display also in the Contemporary and in Beach Club.
Right.
So those are, if you're looking like we are, thinking about going Easter weekend, but it's going to be busy, these are alternative things that we could do. That's 4 different resorts. BOMA is located in Animal Kingdom Lodge, for anyone that does not know. It's a restaurant in Animal Kingdom Lodge. So that's 4 different resorts, the Grand Floridian, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Contemporary, and Beach Club Resort that we can go check out without having to go into the parks where it's going to be really busy.
That's right.
So also in the parks, snacks.
There's always snacks.
There's always snacks, but they're going to be Easter decorated.
Yeah.
I mean, they're always coming up with new fun things to...
Well, they've gotten a lot better about decorating for the events, even the shorter term events.
Well, the events, what about the Purple Potion campaign that we talked about?
Right.
That's not even an event. They just released a whole bunch of purple merchandise, and they had all these different purple desserts available. So, yeah, they're really getting fun. They had an event as we're recording this. They had one yesterday because Haunted Mansion is the 13th photopass opportunity, if I'm saying that right. Is that
something like that? Yeah.
So they had a special event going on yesterday to celebrate this new photopass opportunity at Haunted Mansion, and they even came out with a clock dessert. Right. It was a brownie cookie.
Yeah,
a brookie. Yeah, brownie cookie brookie.
I mean, they're always very. They're not always. Most of the time, they're not really complex. Like for St. Patrick's Day, there's obviously a bunch of green stuff. For anything, I mean, depending on the how big the holiday is, sometimes it's small stuff. Easter's pretty big, so there's going to be there'll be a pretty good variety of Easter related things that are, shaped like an egg or have bunnies on them
and Disney is good about coming up with things that you could buy on shopdisney.com right now, for Easter decorations.
Right.
Because it's a week where you would probably need to pay for expedited shipping on that. But in the parks, they will also sell things that are Easter themed. Right. So that's, something else they're really good about. They'll have Easter pins if you do the pin trading or pin collecting.
Right.
They'll have, I don't celebrate Easter, and you're not big on Easter either. So I don't know what people how they typically decorate for Easter, or, maybe they just have statues and.
I mean, this is Disney, so it's probably just going to be the typical kind of stuff that you would expect. I mean, it's not going to be
like table decorations.
Probably, yeah.
Or maybe some lawn stuff.
Probably not even that, but
who knows?
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see if we end up there.
Right.
But what you could also get, and they should have these in the resorts, pre-made Easter baskets. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you'll be able to find a pre-made Easter basket inside of one of the parks, though you could find plenty of merchandise to make your own Easter basket inside of one of the parks.
Right.
I mean, they sell stuffed animals and all different kinds of, knickknacks that you could buy the materials inside of the parks. Sure. But at all of the resorts, you should be able to buy a pre-made Easter basket because, again, Disney knows that people are there on the holiday. They want to make it easy for you. Right. So you are going to have the availability to do that. And of course, nowadays with Uber and Lyft and, the transportation is really easy, even if you don't have a rental car. If you're staying on property and you don't want to buy a Disney Easter basket, there's a Walgreens not far from Disney Springs. There's Walmarts and Targets.
Yeah, I mean, you're you're probably, well, there's going to be traffic, so otherwise I would say you're probably not more than 10 or 15 minutes away from multiple Target, Walmart.
Probably 30 minutes travel time
30
total.
30 minutes with traffic, because I mean there's grocery stores, there's basically everything. It's obviously a built up area, so
Right. And a lot of the grocery stores and Targets and Walmart sell licensed Disney merchandise.
Right.
Not the same as what you would buy inside of the parks, but
Right.
still licensed, you
Right.
know. So, that's another option if you have the ability to go off property.
Right.
And as I just said, because nowadays Uber and Lyft are a little less expensive typically than taxis are, you could always do that to go to one of the stores off property. Of course, by the time you do that and pay for the Uber or Lyft to get there, pay for the Uber or Lyft to get back, plus the merchandise you purchase, it's almost easier just to buy it on property. But those are options.
sure.
And of course, another option, and we have done this before, but not for Easter, is there is a company called Disney's Floral and Gifts, which you can call them at 407 WDW Gift.
Right.
Or I believe the website is DisneyFloralAndGifts.com.
Right.
If you search Disney Floral and Gifts, you're definitely going to find it. And they have a contract where you can do an in-room celebration.
Correct.
So if you are staying on property, you can actually order something so that it'll be set up in your room,
Right.
which is really nice. But they also will deliver to the Orlando area. So even if if you have friends that live in the area, you could deliver to them.
Sure. Or if you're staying off property. I mean, while we may recommend that, it's not always the right answer for everybody. So
Right. We've talked about that before, when you add everything together with the transportation costs and all the benefits you get, even though it seems expensive, sometimes it actually isn't that bad when you look at the whole picture. But yes, if you're staying somewhere off property, you may be able to have Disney Floral and Gift delivered to you.
sure.
And let's see, dining, our favorite.
Unfortunately,
Well, everybody has to eat.
there you go.
They don't have to eat as much as we eat, but they have to eat.
Well, we kind of live to eat, not eat to live.
Yeah, that is a true statement.
Yeah.
But if you are looking for dining options on Easter, of course, all the normal restaurants will be open inside of all of the parks.
Of course.
All of the normal restaurants should be open at Disney Springs. I say should be because they're not owned by Disney, so they might not be. I would guess that they would be because it's a high tourist area and they're going to want your business.
Yeah, I would think so.
But I'd be surprised if they weren't.
Right.
But if you are looking for a special Easter brunch, there are a few of the locations that definitely have Easter brunch available.
Right.
Boma at Animal Kingdom Lodge. And we know normally that is a breakfast buffet.
Right.
Actually, all their meals are buffets, aren't they? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Do they have lunch or it's just breakfast and dinner?
I don't know if they do lunch. I know they do dinner because we've had dinner there.
Yeah, we used to eat breakfast there often, and then we've eaten dinner there. So I would guess that the brunch on Easter would probably still be a buffet, but
I would assume.
who knows?
Right.
And 1900 Park Fair at the Grand Floridian, which isn't that the character dining?
Well, I think it is, but
Usually-
I don't know if it is for this. Probably not.
Again, we're not sure.
Right.
You would have to check. And since we're only a week out from Easter, you probably have to get really lucky to get any reservations at any of these.
Right.
But it's possible. People, sometimes people make multiple reservations because they don't know what they're going to want to do.
Right.
And then as it gets closer to the date, they'll cancel.
Right.
So even if let's say you listen to the podcast and you're like, oh, we're going to be there, we want to make a reservation, and you call or you go online and you look and they don't have any availability, check back later that day, check back the next day, because people cancel all the time. They can cancel until 24 hours in advance without penalty. And so there are cancellations. Life happens. So keep on checking. Don't get discouraged because you can still get reservations.
Oh, yeah.
STK Orlando, which is in Disney Springs. So that's one example of a non-Disney restaurant. They're definitely open. They were listed as one of the areas offering an Easter brunch, as well as Ale and Compass at the Yacht Club. But isn't that the bar next door to Yachtsman Steakhouse? That's not the restaurant.
No, that's the restaurant. That's.
Oh, okay. First,
I'm pretty sure.
You don't have your iPad, so you can't look it up.
Yeah.
I think it's.
I have an iPad here.
I think it's the bar next to Yachtsman Steakhouse. I can't think of the name of the restaurant.
Ale and Compass.
Oh wait, we're not allowed to use Jeopardy music.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
We don't want to copyright infringe. So sorry, Jeopardy.
So that is. The Ale and Compass Lounge.
Hey, AJ's right again. AJ's right again.
Next to the Ale and Compass restaurant.
Okay, we were both right.
Actually,
it's in between the two because
you are not correct because I'm pretty sure that's the lounge that is next to the restaurant.
Oh, they have a separate lounge?
The one you're thinking of is I'm still giving myself you might still be right. Let's see.
There are two table service restaurants inside of Yachtsman or Yacht Club, and they're very close in proximity to each other.
Right.
So that's why we're a little bit confused. It's like we're envisioning it because when you walk into Yacht Club from the front entrance, just to your left is a restaurant. We've eaten there once, but we don't eat there often because we always go around the corner of that to Yachtsman Steakhouse.
Ale and Compass is a lounge and the restaurant. Mm-hmm. The one you're thinking of is the Cruise Cup Lounge.
Oh.
Right. So that's the one that's next to
Yacht Club.
Next to Yachtsman.
Okay. So, I do that too. Next to Yachtsman at Yacht Club.
Right.
Ale and Compass has the brunch, and another one that has brunch is Trails End at Wilderness Cabins, which we ate at a long time ago. We've only eaten there once. We should go there again and try that.
Yeah.
There are also some restaurants that are offering lunch. Mm-hmm. And I put them as lunch because they're open a little bit later than the ones that were brunch. So I didn't mix them together.
They're not really saying brunch.
Well, the brunch ones, for argument's sake, let's say they're opening between 7:30 and 8:30.
Right.
All the ones that I just listed. So they have earlier dining availability. Mm-hmm. Whereas these two for lunch, they're starting at 11:30.
Right.
So that's why I separated them instead of putting them all together.
Right.
And they are Cape May Cafe at Beach Club and The Wave at Contemporary. And we have eaten at The Wave a few times.
Right.
So...
Well, both of these are, Cape May Cafe is a buffet. Mm-hmm. So.
And usually breakfast is a character.
Correct.
Buffet. But again, we don't know what is going to happen on Easter.
And the Wave is a buffet for breakfast.
An optional buffet.
An optional buffet, right. Because they
have a menu.
And it's a pretty extensive menu, so it's kind of a 50-50 deal. But they're just a regular, quote unquote normal restaurant for lunch and dinner. So, and then you'd have to check the menus to see, because the Wave is usually more of a healthier eating, a sustainable
their
type
offerings,
foods. Right. So, and then Cape May Cafe is usually, it's not. There's a lot of seafood in the buffet, so...
Right, because it's at the Beach Club.
Right.
So we've been talking about food, and as is typical, as usually happens, I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
So, thank you for listening or watching.
That's right.
One of these days, we're going to have a better setup so you can actually see us a little bit better. We are working on that. Might take a little while, but it'll happen.
Sooner or later.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you for listening and or watching. Again, we are two grown-ups and a mouse, so we're glad you found us. Please tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors.
Give us a thumbs up, rate and review. Those are very, very, very helpful for us.
And subscribe.
That's right. Subscribe.
And on that note, I will say Good evening.
Good night.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good day.
Good after midnight.
Or just goodbye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.